today we're having an all female DJ panel. We did a panel, the same exact panel, 2018 when we first opened up. And so we thought, because we're doing an activation with Red Bull, we're doing an all-female DJ competition with Red Bull, we said this would be a good time to do this, another panel talk. And so without further ado, I'd like to thank the moderator, Amina, Kiko, DJ Skywalker, and Jazzy T. They are going to be your panelists today.
All right. I'm going to let my DJs get settled here. My name is Amina Brown. I'm going to be your moderator today. I am not a DJ, but I am a spoken word poet and podcast host. I am also the leader of Creative Mornings Atlanta. If you are not familiar with that, we are a gathering for creatives in the city, so I would love for you to talk to me more about that. But I am a hip hop fan, so I'm excited for us to have this conversation today. So I want each of our DJs to introduce themselves to you. I want you all to start out and tell us a couple of facts about you. Could be where you're from, but also include how you would describe your style of DJing. I'll start with you.
Thank you, Amina. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much to the females that I have, the women, the beautiful women on the panel today. My name is DJ Goddess Kiko, and I'm originally from Toronto, but Atlanta adopted me, like, through and through. My style, if you can't tell, no, I'm just kidding. I usually roll up with heels, and then I trap it out. I trap it out, but then I hit you with some old school, and then I hit you with one of my homeland, so Caribbean music is in there in full effect. And then I always touch the different parts of the globe because I'm a global citizen. So what that means is I will play reggaeton, I will play amapiano, I will play Afrobeat, and then I come back and I trap it out. So that's just a little bit about me.
Hi everyone, I am DJ Jazzy T. I am from Latonia, Georgia. And my style of DJing, I would say top 40 ratchet. I play for my crowd. Like, I've been DJing now for 15 years. Started off as a teenager, been doing it ever since. And my style, you know, I DJ for the Atlanta Dream. I host for Georgia Tech women's basketball. I'm one of Red Bull DJs. So I play for my crowd. A lot of my crowd is, you know, I say my crowd looks like heaven. You know, it's whites, blacks, Latinos, you know, Asians, all of that. So I would also describe my sound or the style DJ worldly. So I can get in my bag, you know. If I love a good theme. If it's an 80s parties, all you gonna hear is 80s music. If it's a reggae party, all you gonna hear is reggae. So I'm all over the place, but for most part, if I can, that one description is top 40 ratchet.
Good evening, and good to see everybody here, and to the esteemed panelists, hello. I am DJ Skywalker. I grew up in Florida, believe it or not, and believe it or not, because I am a house head.
Yes, I love house.
And so people are like, house from Florida? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I've been DJing for maybe about 3 years. That's about it. But it's been in my heart for a very long time. My style, again, is a house head DJ, a house music DJ, but I also am obsessed with amapiano right now, as well as Afro beats, and of course, for any corporate gigs that call, then I'm definitely open format as well.
Love that so much. I love that we're talking about this, especially DJing being one of the 5 elements of hip hop for my hip hop heads here in the building. And one of the very important elements of hip hop, that the MC can't get up here and do the MC's work if the DJ is not there. The break dancer can't do their work if the DJ is not there. So I would love for each of you, and just, you know, do popcorn. Doesn't have to go in order if you don't want to, but I'd love to hear from you. What was the moment you knew you wanted to be a DJ? Like, when I think about myself as a performer, telling my age and probably telling on my mama, but I watched Eddie Murphy's Delirious as a child. It's not for children, but when I watched it, I was watching him tell a story, just him, a microphone, and a stool. And my childhood self was like, that's what I want to do. What was the moment for each of you with DJing? What was that moment for you?
I'll start. I'm sorry. I'll start. So I was in college. I went to the Tennessee State University. Shout out to HBCUs. So I was in college. It was my freshman year in college. I'm a first generation college student out of like 6 generations. I was the first generation college student. And, you know, it was new to me. And I was trying to find myself, trying to figure it out. I was helping promoting parties with one of my friends back at home. And I saw him DJ one night. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then the next day, I joined the WTST The Blaze, the radio station on campus. And on campus, I saw the DJ set up in a room, and I just went in there, and I was just like, okay, let me just play around. And he came in there. He was like, hey, you should be a DJ. And I was like, no, I don't even know what that means. He was like, come to the club with me tonight and, like, just stay in the booth the whole night. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the club that night, and I remember him playing R. Kelly Ignition. Everybody singing word from word. So I'm like, okay. Then he played Nuck If You Buck. Everybody getting, you know. Then he slowed it down and played like at the time, T-Pain Buy You a Drink. So I just saw the different emotions that people had while he was playing, and I was like, wow, this is powerful. Like, you're managing energy. And from that moment, I was like, I want to do that. I want to make people happy and sad, but happy again. And then I want to make, you know, I fell in love with that power, but most of all, that managing of energy. Like, hey, I can make somebody's day great just by playing their favorite song. So, yeah.
There wasn't a moment. It's been a gradual thing since I've been little. So my father was very much into music. He's an honored ancestor now. And even as a little girl, going to school functions or like, oh, girlfriend's night, you know, slumber party or whatever that is, I used to be the one always in charge of the music. Back then it was cassette tapes. I'm older than you. And so that just continued on from middle school through high school, being on the dance team, always being the one to bring the music, going to college. My room was the gathering room for the music. And so it was just kind of a gradual thing where I didn't realize I was probably DJing then. It wasn't on a turntable, but being in charge of the music and having that feeling from making people happy has always been part of my history. I would say that formally, I got involved with the Tambor Party here in Atlanta in about 2010, and at that time, still thought it was kind of a boys' game. And when I began to see more women DJs, I'm like, I could, okay, so I could do, and then, oh, okay, and kind of started to put it together. So it wasn't necessarily a moment, it was just a gradual build-up over time. As a former dancer, ballet and tap and jazz dancer, a former speaker, it's the energy, it's getting that energy from the people and giving it back to them. That is almost an obsession, I think, for people that are into this industry. So yeah, that's it.
I love what all of you women said. It really connects back to the energy. I remember growing up and being in the back of my mom's car, and I used to be like, okay, they're gonna play this song next. They're gonna play this song next. They're gonna play this song next. And I'll be right. And I'll be like, oh, I'm psychic. I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna be on the radio. She's like, people on the radio don't make no money. I was like, but that's what I wanna do. I wanna do it. And then I got older, and then as I got older, I started getting really interested in studio management and artists and working with people and creating something and making something from an idea. That excited me. So then I started managing studios. I managed 2 studios, and then I started working at Patchwork Recording Studio, and then I got interested in audio engineering, and I used to work at Apache Cafe. I used to do art shows out there. In 2017, I was an apprentice for the audio engineer, live audio engineer. The gentleman that worked there, he also did the Bonfire back when Bonfire was Bonfire. And I used to do the stage check there, and I used to just be like, oh, I plugged in like a whole band, and I'd be so excited about doing that, and it felt so good. one day I went up to the owner of Apache Cafe and I was just like, hey, we don't have a DJ and we're just playing sound. Do you mind if I just get up there? I mean, I'm already hosting. I mean, you're not gonna come out of budget anything. I just want to try. He was like, go ahead. I said, say less. So I took my Toshiba laptop, and that's all I had. I had a Toshiba laptop and virtual DJ, and in 2017, I began my DJ career, and I haven't looked back. I've been just in love with the way that you can make somebody feel with music. You can make somebody remember a good time, a bad time, a great time. And I often, anytime that I'm talking to anybody, or I'm talking to a client, I'm talking to a friend, I'm talking to somebody that's DJing, I'm like, when we go out there, we create a soundtrack for that night. We create the soundtrack for that night. Wherever party you're going to that night, somebody's gonna go back home and be like, dang, I remember when I met that shawty. She was fine, what? They played that music. And it's like that, I love that feeling of being that soundtrack for that person, for that night, for that evening, for that event, for anything. It's just that energy that you put out and you see it instantly change a room that just is so electrifying. I really appreciate that as a DJ. And I fell in love 2017 when I had my Toshiba. I cracked that thing out. It was hanging on its last leg. I said, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. So that's when I fell in love with DJing.
I love that. Kiko, you brought up a great point as far as the equipment required to be a professional DJ. So you need equipment and you need a brand for yourself. Can any of you that want to share tell us, how did you begin that journey of saying, okay, I need to get started, I want to actually like do this? What's the equipment that you tried to get, your Toshiba and other things? And how did you establish your brand as a DJ?
I guess since we was talking about my Toshiba with one leg, I'll started off. So my Toshiba literally had one leg. It was a Toshiba that was just in the back of my closet. I found it and I just downloaded Virtual DJ. Then I saved up enough money and I got a DDJ SB3. You know, I got it secondhand. You know, I had a lot of money. I wasn't balling. So I had a DDJ SB3 and I was playing on that for a little bit. But as you guys know, it doesn't really have, or you may not know, it doesn't really have a lot of connections. It only has an RCA connection on the back. So when you go out to play, you really can't do a lot unless you get some adapters, and that was always a thing. It was always a thing. But when I finally got my stimulus check, I said, we're gonna do something with this. We're gonna do something with this. We're gonna flip this. So when I got my stimulus check, I got a 1000 SRT. And I thought I was big. I thought I was big popping. I was like, ooh, I got an SRT, yeah. And it has so many channels, and you really become a kid in a candy store, especially when you go to Beat Lab, when you go to Criminal Records, when you go to all these different places. You're just looking at all the toys, and you're like, touch, 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 touch. You're so excited. And when I got my SRT, I started doing, it was around COVID time, and I started doing lives on my Instagram with a blue screen, and I was just jumping around on my lives on my SRT and just playing around with it. And honestly, if I have to talk about equipment, speaking from somebody who genuinely knows, it really comes from your will to want to be great. I had a Toshiba with one leg, and I was DJing from a laptop, okay? So it's really not about the equipment, it's about the person using the equipment. And I'm sure these women could tell you the same thing. You can start out with a laptop only, you can start out with a DDJ, you can start with some vinyls, it doesn't matter. As long as you are putting in that consistent work effort and you're continuously excited and inspired about DJing, everything else will fall in.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Branding, we gotta talk about branding, right?
Okay, I'll piggyback on both because y'all have been 15 years. Woo. Okay, so when I was 17, when I figured out, all right, you about to be a DJ, you about to do it. The first equipment back then, it wasn't controllers, y'all. It wasn't controller. We had turntables. Back then, I was, same height, a little skinnier. Now, these turntables, y'all, the turntable itself is about, what'd you say here, about 50 pounds? 50 pounds. They come in a case. The case, another 50 pounds. So when it came to equipment, though, I knew that I wanted to be DJ and I wanted to learn the way to learn. And at the time, Serato just became a thing. Serato used to have a separate box outside of the program. So it didn't come as a controller, it came as a separate thing, interface. Several wires, several RCAs, several cords. So I'm just trying to figure this thing out because I'm like, I got turntables, I got a laptop, I got this, and I'm in college. I'm broke. Like, it was, all right, you gonna get your turntables or you gonna buy your books? Well, I can borrow a book. I'm gonna figure that out. So I'm gonna get these turntables. So after I got all my equipment, I'm like, all right, it's time to, like, who are you? Like, you gotta become this person. Like, what you gonna do? I said, well, number one, I wanna be good. I wanna be really good. So I'm gonna spend the whole summer learning. I'm gonna be in my bag. I wanna be good. So when I present my name, when I say my name, it's going, oh, okay, it all makes sense. So the first thing after I bought my equipment, I'm practicing. Now I'm to the point where, all right, it's August. I practiced from May to August, the whole summer, and so I'm in school, or at the time, summer. I stayed in Nashville. I was gonna come home, but I stayed in Nashville with one of my now sorors just to practice. She had a 2-bedroom and a basement. Her people was rich, so I was like, girl, I just need your basement. Just give me your basement. I want to set up my turntable. She like, yeah, do your thing. So the whole summer, 4 or 5 hours, I'm practicing in the basement, and I wanted to, be good. But now, August coming, so school coming back. It's sophomore year. I wanted to pledge. I wanted to do this. And I knew, I was like, if I be the number one DJ, ain't nobody going to deny me when it come to pledging or anything. I'm going to be that girl. So, now I'm trying to develop, okay, who do you want to be? Like, when you on your turntables, what do you want people to see? Number one, when I was doing my research, I saw a lot of the female DJs at the time. Everybody had a unique style. So I was like, man, I didn't really have a blueprint of what to like, people would copy people. And I didn't want to copy. And it was the women DJs at the time, you couldn't copy because everybody had their own style. So I was like, okay, who are you, Tara? At the time, I was a tomboy, but I like to put on my little dresses, and I'm in college now, so I'm putting on my little heels, but I'm a mixture of both. Most of the time in class, you're gonna see me with sweats and tennis shoes. That's just what it is. I was like, but when I DJ, my brand, I want them to first hear me and be like, dang, who that DJing? Then when they see me, I want them to be like, damn, that's the DJ? Yep. So I was like, okay, I got to put on clothes. So I wanna present myself as a beautiful woman, but also a talented woman, and I want people to respect me. So I have 9 brothers. So being in college and being the only girl at the time in college, my brothers, they was like, hey, if you're going to be in this male-dominated field, you're going to be all sexy and stuff, don't mess with no dudes in your field, and be classy sexy. Don't be slutty sexy. So I was like, all right, cool. We're going to figure it out. Here's the thing. I'm 17, 18, DJing in heels for 4 hours. That's the thing, right? So I learned to bring my tennis shoes to the club. So, back a couple, once you done came in, you done did what you do, you behind a booth. Can't nobody really too much see you. However, at the time, you looking at, it wasn't no social media. For real, we had Facebook, but it wasn't, you wasn't doing too much. I could really, switch shoes and do my thing. But when it came to, when I present myself, when I first walk in, the bartenders, the bar owner, the people, I wanted them to see me okay, she put on clothes. You can put her anywhere, she'll flourish. So when it came to branding, I knew that I needed to be presentable. I needed to be respected. I needed to be, I wanted people to book me. I wanted people to say hey, she got the brand, she got the look, the music is great. That was number one for me. And also, my thing for a while was okay, I got the looks, I got the this, but nobody really know me. The college TSU know me, but Vanderbilt don't know me. This person don't know me. What I got to do to brand myself more. So I'm networking at this point. I'm going to the Vanderbilt parties, it's all white people, but I'm going. I'm like, hey, this at the time, mixtapes was a thing. My first mixtape was called Relax and Take Notes 1. Shout out to Biggie. Relax and Take Notes. So I'm on Vanderbilt campus passing out mixtape. They, I'm I get my logo. So your logo, my first logo, you know, I will say this, your first logo ain't your best logo. You're going to probably have another one, but you need something to like say your name. Let people know, hey, this is who I am. This is, you know, my brand. When you see this symbol, you know, oh, that's Jazzy T. So I knew I had to get a logo. So with my logo on my mixtapes, it got to the point where I had, you know, at now I done pledged. So I got my sorority sisters at the party. They wearing my T-shirts with my logo on it, saying, you know, the mixtape diva, you know, all that good stuff. So when it came to branding, I'm sorry, I'm long-winded too. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay. So, but when it came to branding, like, it was really important because you want people to know who you are. And that's the easiest way to get people to know who you are. But if you ain't gonna wear your stuff or you ain't gonna promote yourself, nobody else will. So, you know, that's all I got to say about that.
DJ Skywalker, I want to throw a question to you. When we think about professional DJing, that really is becoming a business owner. Can you speak to what you've learned as a businesswoman who is also a DJ, and talk about, we were joking about this, talk about what are some of the unsexy parts of being a DJ, but the parts that help your business to be in line. Tell us more about that.
Sure thing. So I don't mind sharing that I'm older. I started DJing just a few years ago. I just became an empty nester last year. So just, you know, you can add and subtract to understand my age. And so what that means is I've had a long time in business. I started my first business back in 2011 and have done multiple things from there, probably everything you can think of. And so although I was in health and wellness for 20 plus years, and then venturing out as an entrepreneur and now as a DJ, I've been able to bring all of those skills into DJing and to be able to offer it to you now. When it comes to starting a business or even maintaining your business as a DJ, really I like to think of it as in like separate groups, big groups of ideas. One idea or group is the marketing, right? So as a DJ starting your business or a producer or an artist, a musical artist, you're gonna wanna think about your marketing. What is your brand? What's your name? How do you want to present yourself? How do you want to look? I find that a lot of times in certain crowds, in certain genres, people will just kind of show up looking any kind of way. But to me, it's like if you're going to make your name, look like who you want to be, you know, and especially as women, a lot of times we like to get into whatever. It might be the kind of cargo pants we have or whatever it is. So marketing is definitely one of those big groups to think about. Where I like to work, I think I'm an oddball. I'm 50-50. I love to be anal and tedious and business, and then the other half is the creativity part. But that is the unsexy part, is managing your business as a DJ or a producer or an artist. It is necessary to do that. Oftentimes, because if you don't do it, you might miss opportunities. You might miss getting paid more. You might miss being able to get into a bigger venue or be in front of a bigger audience. There are a lot of missed opportunities when you don't have your business together. So, to kind of clarify a couple of things, a lot of times people will just kind of go out there and just be taking money, put it in your pocket. I'll just go to the grocery store, and then I'll get this money over here from this gig, and then I'll just go shopping, and that's not the way to properly do business. You can do business as what they call a sole proprietor, meaning that using your social security number, then you can operate like that and file your taxes with your social. I love to recommend officially filing an LLC. And you can be a one-member LLC, or if you work with somebody, you can be a partnership or a corporation. But really, for the sake of just a general sake, you can be a one-member LLC. And the way to do that is to go to your state site and file for that LLC, for that name.
It's $50.
Here in Georgia, it's 100. It's 100.
It's 100 to start, but 50.
And then 50 to renew.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. See, she know her business. So, and again, I just suggest that. No, I highly recommend it. No, I'm telling you to go ahead and file as an official structure, because it will help you, again, to be able to get paid, to be able to take advantage of opportunities. If there's maybe a program or a grant you want to go after, a lot of times having those things set in place helps you to qualify a lot easier, okay? So thinking about your structure is if you're going to be a sole proprietor or if you're going to have an LLC. The next thing would be to go ahead and get your EIN number. Your EIN is free through irs.gov. What does your EIN do? It helps you to go ahead and get a bank account. Now, because I'm a DJ, I do taxes, I'm an insurance, I'm a licensed life and health insurance agent as well, but it helps me to understand this business aspect because on the tax side, if you have your EIN and you get your business bank account, you can separate your money. One of the biggest no-nos when doing your tax, when I'm preparing taxes is the commingling of funds. Right? I got paid from this gig, I put it in my personal account, then I went and I bought groceries, but then I bought the equipment, but then I bought the music, but then I went over here and got some shoes. So how can I file my taxes? It is a nightmare to do it that way. And if you're ever audited, it is going to come up and you're going to get in trouble. All right? So the EIN is the key to get you your business bank account and to separate your money. All right. Now, a lot of times people think, well, if I'm going to separate my money, how am I going to get my money out of my business? There are different strategies to do an owner draw or to pay yourself as an employee from your business. It's easily done. Okay. So if you have not separated your funds, please go home tonight, get your EIN number, and then go tomorrow and sign up to get a business bank account. All right. Now, throughout the year, when it comes to the unsexy business side of DJing, you want to maintain your business. So you want to do things like tracking your expenses, tracking your mileage, tracking what's coming in on the business side and then what's going out on the business side. Leave your personal over here, okay? And then, of course, at the end of the year, when it comes time for January through April, you're going to come see me to get your taxes done. And it's going to be so nice and easy because your funds are separated. I'm able to file your Schedule C. I can see all of the expenses that you've been tracking throughout the year. And then you can write off most, if not all, of your life.
Everything
Amen.
is a write-off.
I knew it. See, I didn't have to say,
That's
I
it.
didn't have to say, can I get an amen? When you're able to write off the very thing that you love to do, which is DJing or producing or being a musician, when you're able to write off those activities, it is a great feeling and it keeps more money in your pocket at the end of the year. So it is unsexy, but it's still necessary. I wanted to offer you all a tool while I'm on the topic. I have a website, noniwalker.com, N-O-N-I Walker.com. There's a sign up that if you're to sign up and join my list, I'm going to give you 3 tools. Number 1 is a business expense tracking sheet that's going to help you throughout the year as well as for your taxes. Number 2, I'll send you a coupon for 10% off any of my business services because remember, I do taxes, I do insurance, I do business consulting, and I DJ. And then number 3 is access to a private video about the cash flow quadrant. And that is understanding as a business person, where do you want to sit? Do you want to stay forever as an employee on someone's job, which is just fine because it does provide stability. But if you're looking to be a DJ and kind of be out there and be independent, you want to understand what is it about being a business owner and then investing as well to be on the right side of the quadrant.
Thank you so much.
Great
so
tips.
Good.
Drop a bomb. Drop a bomb.
Shout out
Drop
to
a bomb.
Skywalker. Yes.
Drop a bomb.
It's unsexy, but it's necessary.
Yes.
You can still be a sexy business owner and a DJ and a producer.
That's it. That's it. Jazzy T, I want to turn to you. I want you to talk about what it was like when you were working corporate and hustling to DJ. And then tell us, which will really piggyback on what you were saying, Skywalker, tell us how you transitioned from working for someone else to then becoming a businesswoman and working for yourself.
Okay, that's a great question. I just went full-time DJ a year ago. Out of these 15 years, I guess 14 years of that, I'm a mom. My baby is 11. I've always had at least 2 jobs, plus a mom. So I've always had 3 jobs. I just been that girl, just hustling. All I knew was just hustle, hustle, hustle. My first job out of college, I guess you would say corporate job, was with the Discovery Channel. Fun job, and they love Shark Week, random, but Shark Week is a thing. First job, corporate job, was with Discovery Channel. I'm making great money. I'm fresh out of college. I got a baby, but I'm also on radio. This is in Nashville. I'm on radio, and I'm DJing in a club. So I'm managing all these things, right? I was so scared to be a full-time DJ back then because of my baby. I wanted stability. I wanted benefits. I just said, like, nope, I can't. It's not time. It's not time. And at the time, I remember my mom pressuring me, like, hey, you can keep DJing, but you can climb up the corporate ladder and, be okay and this and that. And I think it's a generational thing, I hate to say. But I think it's a generational thing with the older generation just feeling like we need corporate. We need stability. We don't need to switch it up. Everything is a side thing besides your 9 to 5. So it really, that had a hold on me for a while just because I just felt like that I just needed to have a corporate job. I needed stability. I was like, nope, I'm on radio. I'm doing Discovery Channel. I'm a mom. And I just need to just keep doing this. This is the life. This is what if I still want to DJ, it just have to be on the side at this time. I moved back to Atlanta in 2017, and I was working with iHeartRadio. They moved me here. That was my, I guess you can say, second corporate job. And iHeartRadio was radio. So at this point, I'm like, oh, this is what I love. Like, I got the benefits, I got the radio, like, this is me. I'm 9 to 5. This is, but I'm doing something I love. iHeartRadio worked me every last hour, overtime, didn't get paid. But it was something that I loved, so I just felt like, nope, this is corporate America. This is what I gotta do. This is my stability. This is that. But I'm also DJing in the club. I'm also being a mom, right? So I'm still three jobs. So it got to the point COVID hit. Everything got weird, right? So I'm seeing DJs, 80 years old, going on live, doing their thing, and I'm like, dang, do I gotta go on live? Like, this is what I gotta do now. Like, I don't know. Everything is just different. So I ended up getting, iHeartRadio had one of the biggest layoffs in company history. They used to be Clear Channel. They bought Clear Channel and became iHeartRadio. They laid off over 250 employees across the nation. And I'm talking about OG radio people that, you thought that was gonna be in radio forever. I'm nervous, I'm scared. I'm like, oh God, what's next? I don't know. All I know is to now at this point be a DJ and, radio was my life. What am I gonna do, God? What we gonna do? I see, the verses happening, so I'm watching verses. I'm laughing, but I'm crying because I'm like, oh my God, is this gonna be me? Like, do I gotta do TikTok? What I gotta do? Like, Lord, help me out. So I ended up getting a job with Travelers Insurance. Ooh, I had a headset, y'all. At home with my headset, drinking wine at 12 o'clock. COVID was something else. I hope there's a lot of documentaries that come out during that time on what people was really doing. So at this point, I'm at Travelers Insurance. I'm on the phone. I was a manager for customer support. So I'm managing people now, which was, was different, but, I'm getting the benefits. I'm corporate America. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is just life now. So I'm like, I'm just thinking of benefits. I got the benefits. We good. So it got to the point where, at this point, 2022 hit when I left. But right leading up to when I left, I planned it. I was like, this is it. At this point, it's at the tail end of COVID. COVID is somewhat, is here, but it's like everybody got it, so we good. So I'm like, okay, it's time for an exit plan. Like, you've always did this corporate stuff, and you do it well. You got this, girl. But you can really do DJing, just DJing. You can picture you just a DJ. So when it came to my exit plan, I said, every time what am I scared of? Like, what's holding me back? And in the back of my head, I'm like, benefits, it's the benefits. So I started calculating. So I'm like, okay, let's break these benefits down. I'm paying Travelers out my paycheck every month it's like $400 worth of benefits. I'm like, I go to the dentist twice a year. Okay. I go to, the eye doctor once a year. So I'm calculating. I'm like, this ain't even $400 worth for the whole year. So I'm thinking, then now I'm like doing it like, okay, if I was a small business owner, or like, let me shop around the marketplace to see how can I replace these benefits with if I was paying out of pocket. I did the numbers, y'all. The numbers was from like here to here. And I was like, oh, okay, so benefits, cool. Now I don't just want to leave and just leave. I wanna save. I wanna be okay just in case, I'm hopeful that everything will go well, but I wanna save up at least, 4 to 5 months just just in case. So I'm saving. I'm every paycheck, I'm saving. So I quit my job in July. So probably about in May, I was like, they started hitting us with, hey, we're gonna do the hybrid. We're gonna go back to the office. I was like, oh, that's my cue, because I ain't going back to that damn office. Nope, it ain't happening. So I'm like, okay, exit plan from it was, I was supposed to end in September. I said, we're gonna have to bump it up, because they telling me the date to go back in the office is August 25th. So we're gonna be gone before that, but we gotta transition. Next thing you know, I ended up doing a fast. I ended up doing a fast, and I'm just, I'm praying, I'm praying for very specific things. And I'm like, God, do what you do, do what you do, do what you do. So I remember Atlanta Dream calling me, and they saying, hey, we need you. We want you to DJ the games, da-da-da-da. Here's the thing, if you're gonna do, the game start at 7, we need you there at like 2, 3. Now, I don't get off at Travelers until 6. So I'm like, oh, okay, we got to figure this out. So when they sent me the offer over, I'm drawing up my resignation letter. I'm like, all right, God, I hear you, God. So after that, I already had my plan in motion. I just knew, like, God had something bigger in store for me. And I knew, like, I never took a bet. For these 15 years that I've been DJing, I've never said, you know what, you can be a full-time DJ and just do that. I believed in myself, but I was scared because I didn't think I was going to have that stability, because DJing can be up and down. We have our good seasons and we have our not so good seasons. And I was scared of that. And once I took that leap of faith, like, man, the doors that has opened for me, y'all, just got to work. It's been great ever since, after Dream called, Red Bull called, Georgia Tech kept calling, Scratch Out Loud called. I was like, we want you to take. I mean, it just kept going, and I haven't looked back. And then to get me to another corporate situation is gonna have to take a lot. But I don't think I'm gonna go back. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. DJ Goddess Kiko, I want to turn to you because wellness and mental wellness is a part of your brand. And I am the spouse of a DJ. DJ Up Diggie's here. That's my husband right there. And I personally know that people talk to DJs crazy. People talk to y'all crazy. People will roll up with their wild requests that don't make no sense to where the DJ was headed. Not to mention being women, being black women in these professional situations. We really have to care for ourselves. So Kiko, share with us, how does mental wellness play a part in what you do in your work, and how you want other DJs such as yourselves to really take care of yourself in the process? Once you get your business taken care of, once you get your money, you want to make sure your soul and your spirit is in a good place too.
I mean, how many of us are creatives here right now? Pretty much everybody. Okay, so has anybody experienced burnout? For sure. I've heard for sure. I mean, to answer your question first and then go back to burnout, from personal experience, I've had a lot of random, DJ requests. The only time I've ever had somebody talk to me crazy was literally on Cinco de Mayo, but Cinco de Mayo, anything goes. So that was probably the only time that I've had it's anybody ever talked to me crazy. I was in the DJ booth, and somebody was like, hey yo, could you play something? I was like, yeah, if you look up there, it says no requests, but you could tip the DJ. And he was like, oh, I'm not gonna look up there. I was like, have a good day, sir, have a good day. But that's probably the only time that I've ever had a really bad experience with requests, at least for me. People usually request something, and if it's something that I'm like, it don't make no sense, I'll be like, yeah, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it. And then I'll look dead at them and just press play, and it won't be the song. But but I usually try, I'm not a stickler about requests if it makes sense. I'm gonna just say that, if it makes sense. But if I'm in a groove and I got myself going and I got the crowd rocking and I'm literally playing the song that you're about to ask for, I'm gonna do me. But when it comes to requests, I'm not such a stickler. Only if it just doesn't make sense and it's out of left field, then I'm just like, all right, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's think about this. Let's think about this. But going back to burnout, I mean, I come from a family where both my parents, especially my mother, we got it from the ground up. Like, we got it from the ground up, talking about out the mud. And when you come from parents like that, mental health isn't something that's really discussed. You mean the milk will get spilt, you might drop a teardrop in the bucket, but you gotta pick it up and keep it moving. But as I got older, the milk would spill, and I would be like, I wanna cry about this milk. This milk needs to be cried about. But it's also, in that same breath, it's one of those things where you have to know yourself. You have to know your breaking points. You have to know where you stand when it comes to who you are. And without that basis, it's really hard to really care for yourself, to really love yourself. And that comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms. It comes in the form of a support system. It comes in the form of, not like me, I'm a big person of, I will take time to answer my phone. I will take time to answer that text. Especially if I'm just waking up or I'm just coming out of something, I will take that time. Because if it's not money right now, I ain't really looking at it. But from just a mental standpoint, I take the time to really think about myself first. Because if I'm not loving myself and I'm not feeling good about myself, I can't spread that to everybody else. And DJ God is Kiko. Kiko in itself means child of light. And if I'm not shining out loud, then I can't pass it along to anybody else. So first is stigmatizing mental health within our community, within anybody that comes from a family that just is hard workers, and thinking more about wellness, thinking about how can I do something for myself today. It could be something as small as, like, yesterday I went to go get a QT drink. That was something so small, but I was happy after I got it. Something so small as not answering your text phone right away. Something so small as silk sheets. I love me some silk sheets. Silk sheets on a Sunday, baby. I love me some silk sheets. Do something nice for yourself every single day if you can. Like, that self-care is something I'm so big on, especially coming from depression, because that's where I got my name from, Kiko. I was going through a real bad bout of depression with my family, and talking about dark shades in the room, no light, no nothing. And my mom was like, "You were such a light before. What happened to your light? Your light's so dim. Where's your light at?" So, I was like, okay, well, you know what? If I'm gonna do this DJ thing, I gotta make sure every girl knows she's a goddess, every woman knows she's a goddess, and every woman knows she's a child of light. So that's where that came from, Goddess Kiko. When you talk about mental health, you're not only talking about the stigmatization of mental health, talking about wellness, talking about self-care, but you also have to remember the most important thing. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And you can't share any of this music with anybody. You can't share any of what you've learned with anybody. You can't sit up here and talk with people. You can't sit and come to the modern design of Atlanta and sit here and learn and just network with other people. There's so many levels of mental wellness that I just love to talk to people about, because it could be something as much as burnout. When you burn out, taking that walk, taking a step away. I had to take a step away from DJing for a little bit. I went back to school. And I graduated just on Friday on Cinco de Mayo. 2 degrees shorter, you know what I'm saying? But I had to step away because I was getting burnt out. I was getting burnt out. I just like you, Jazzy T. I quit my job last year in April. Walked out of the Apple store. I was like, deuces, y'all, I'm out. Never looked back. I missed the discounts, but I got friends, so I'm still getting them discounts. Holla at me. But it's one of those things where you got to bet on yourself, and in that moment that you understand that I got to put me first, Lucius. I got to put me first. you will go farther and further than you will ever imagine that you can. The height has no ceiling. The height has no ceiling. The sky is not the limit. You can go further. I didn't know I could do half the things that I've done. And it just all came from me understanding that I needed to take a step away and come back even louder and even stronger, because I wasn't in the mental space at that moment to be the best that I could be. And it just came from starting to do little things for myself, like just when I was in that depression state, just waking up and making my bed, waking up and painting, because I love art, waking up and taking that walk, waking up and talking to my grandma, waking up, if you have your grandma still with you, if she's not an ancestor, waking up and just making tea in the morning for myself, just loving on me. If you love on yourself, nothing else really matters. Just love on yourself. Give yourself a hug. Take a long shower. Make your life romantic. Light that candle. Eat that bread. You know what I'm saying? if you're gluten free, I understand. Don't die. But love yourself. Definitely love yourself. I'm a big advocate for mental wellness, especially with the 10th year anniversary of Skywalker's book. The F Train to Freedom. I'm a big advocate on loving yourself, and that starts with knowing who you are. Every day, stepping up and showing up for yourself. If you can't show up for yourself, then how you gonna show up for somebody else, baby? Yeah. Give me a hug. Just give me a hug. Yeah. I love you guys.
That's great. All right, we got a few minutes, and I want to open up for your questions. You may have things you want to ask of our esteemed DJ panel. Are there any questions out? Okay, we ready? Okay, tell me your question, then I'm going to repeat it so that we can make sure we have it on camera as well.
Hola, everyone, beautiful people. My name is Catherine, and I love frequency. So my question is, when you're DJing, are you DJing to the crowd who's not paying attention to you? Or do you start DJing to the dancer? What is that connection?
I love that question. Okay, I'll say it. When I DJ, I'm usually looking for a group of people. I'm looking for different people, sets of people. I'm looking around. I'm playing a song and I'm seeing who's looking at, who's moving. Is their head moving? Oh, okay. Because it passes around. The energy passes around. It's so beautiful to see it. I started playing the song in this group. One time I heard this girl scream. I was like, oh my God, for me or for the song? But it was fun. So it's just like it passes around, and I know y'all have seen that before. You see a group moving and you just start playing, and then it just spreads around to the room.
So for me, it's been a little different. In 07, 08, nope, even before that, nope, 07, 08, it wasn't booths. Booths was not a thing. So when it came to a club, it was, bar, dance floor, DJ. Great times, right? So I always say DJing is a selfless job. It ain't about you. However, you are the vibe. So depending on what time it is, if I'm just pressing play, I'm filling out the room. I play for my crowd, right? So let's say I'm in a club setting, and it's free for ladies before 11. And I come in, I'm setting up, I see my girls in the line waiting to get in. I'm plugging up. First song I'm gonna play is a lady song, Refill. Elvina, we at the bar. This is what we want to do. It's free before 11. We want to get our drink in. We're trying to feel what's going on. And then once I got my ladies, it's a wrap. So I played for my crowd. However, now, that was then. That was 07. Now we got booths. Booths was tricky. Booths is tricky now because for me, when I'm in a lounge setting and I'm seeing booths and I'm seeing people just kind of like nod their head, not do too much how they used to do, I'm like, all right, let me do me for a second, especially if I'm just pressing play. I'm gonna do me for a second, but I'm a warm them up. So I'm gonna take, for me when I DJ, I'm taking you on a timeline, but I'm also taking you as levels. We're gonna start off, and when it's time to turn up, don't worry, we're gonna turn up. But it's a ride. We're gonna take a ride. So don't come in here and ask me for the hottest song at 10 o'clock and I won't close to 3 o'clock. It ain't gonna happen like that. So when it comes back to the request question, listen, I got you. I got you. You be nice. The key to request and everything, just be nice. Just smile and say, yeah, it's good. Right. But okay, back to your question. So when it comes to, I love to see a crowd dancing and stuff, especially if it's women. And I see they like B. Say less. I'm going to get deep in my Beyonce pad. You just heard upgrade you. I'm going to mess you up and hit you with Kitty Cat. You weren't ready for that one. Okay. So, it depends. But for the most part, yes, you got to play for your crowd. You got to play for your crowd. That's number one. But if your crowd ain't there, you a vibe. You the energy. You the DJ. You set the tone. You take them where you want to go. It's a ride.
Right, so I would say the same thing. I call it a journey, where you're taking your crowd on a journey, but it depends on where you are. So if you're doing a 70th birthday party, that's different than doing a house club, right? They're gonna want a certain vibe and a certain journey for the night. I really believe that DJs aren't just there to play the music, they're there to provide this journey, this environment, this vibe, and it's the ultimate service to that environment. It's not just about what do I want to hear that night. So if I'm playing for a 70th birthday party, how can I serve them best? By playing their Motown hits or whatever it might be. However, because I know Catherine and we're frequently in the same house environments, when it comes to a house party though, I want to be playing for the dancer. Also because I'm a former dancer as well. Well, I still dance. What? But there's definitely controversy in the DJ industry about playing for yourself versus playing for your audience. And I'm more on the side of playing for your audience because you want to be able to serve whatever environment that you're in and take them on that journey. So, I don't know.
Can I come to the house parties that y'all go to?
Of course.
I want to listen.
What we doing?
Okay. Let me come. I want a good time. Let me come.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I just had a question about when you're like first starting out and you're kind of like putting yourself out there and trying to find clients. So if you're like pitching to people that you want to like play for and DJ for, how does that process kind of look like? And like, are you kind of like upselling yourself with other like packages? Like, how does that work?
So when I first, we're not gonna talk about years. I'm gonna just say what I do now because it gets crazy. So now what I do, it depends on what type of environment you want to be in. Let's say, I'm just going to use example, a hotel. A lot of hotels around Atlanta love DJs, by the way. It has its own, like, if you want to be a hotel DJ, it's a whole thing in itself. So what I would do if I was interested in being a hotel DJ, number one, I'm going to go up there. I want to see the vibe. I want to see where I'm a DJ at, if they're having like a rooftop situation, or even sometimes they don't have a DJ, but they have a cool like ambiance, like a rooftop with, you see a bar, you see something, you can visualize almost, okay, I could be in a corner right there with my speaker playing the music. What would I do to get these people attention? Number one, hey, do you all have, talk to the bar manager or the hotel manager. Hey, do you all have like any events going on? Would you be interested in having a DJ? Oh yeah, we would love to have a DJ. Okay, cool. I just made this 10-minute mix that would kind of give you an idea of how I DJ and what type of music I would DJ. I would love to DJ at your spot. Here's my social media. What's your email? I'll follow up with you, whatever. So you almost have to be somewhat a salesperson because you're selling yourself. So yes, you need those tools when it comes to, okay, if you want to sell yourself, you got to have a business card. You got to have like a website, if you really want to be taken serious. And the extraness is like, hey, I got a mix on hand right now. What's your email? I'll send it to you. Feel free to listen to it and, whatever type of vibe you wanted to create at your hotel or something, this is what I can provide. So I would say first, seek out the type of venues or the type of events you want to DJ. Go to them, like get the vibe of like, okay, they love, if I'm, for my nonprofit Meals on Wheels, anytime I play Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance, well, that's a universal song, but I know that's a song that gonna get them where they need to be. So when you go to these different events, see what type of music that they're listening to, and it's like, okay, this aligns with what I play. Boom. Find the connect, in Atlanta, a lot of spots is promoters, find the promoter, network with them, hit them up on Instagram, whatever you gotta do. The Instagram hit up is weird. If they have a website, go straight to the website. Go whatever they have, like way to get in touch with me, do that officially. However, sometimes officially don't work, right? So if you can actually go to their event and introduce yourself, that's always the best way to like, hey, so they can put a name with a face, and it's not as weird when you're on social media, because sliding in the DMs can get a little weird.
I love that you said that. You want to provide value. You know, when you go to these hotels and when you go to these venues, you want to show them the value that you add to the space. You provide an enhancement to their experience, which gives them bar sales, which gives them ticket sales, which they think in numbers. They think in numbers. Give them the value. Once they see that value, you're good to go, and then you continue on.
So 2 points on starting out. One of them is relationships, right? So there's definitely the business side and the different things that you can do, take those steps. I have found that it's the relationships that are also bringing me opportunities and gigs, and authentic relationships, not just kissing butt, right? So as you're working on your network and you're reaching out and you're supporting people, you're going to their events, you're promoting them on social media, those relationships are going to come back around to say, oh, that's my sis over there. Let me help her out with this over here. Let me pass her this opportunity. The second thing when it comes to starting out, to being somewhat intermediate or having been in the business for a long time, is also just knowing your worth. Keeping that in mind with everything that you do. The obvious fact of this event is that this is an event for women, and there's women that are talking to women. And so with that obvious fact is that this has been a male-dominated industry for a very long time. And although we're getting a lot of our shine now, we've still been here for years and years and years, right? But knowing your worth as you're going out, it doesn't matter if you just started yesterday, not diminishing yourself to where it's like, I'll just take $10 an hour to DJ, right?
Don't do that.
Know your worth as a person, and then know your worth also as a woman, because there's still, I have many brothers in this industry, big brothers that are gonna look out for me, but there still is just that underlying, just that fine line of, oh, that's the woman, we'll put her first and we're gonna give her less. Even though she might be a great DJ, we're gonna put her first, we're gonna give her less. So it's not being an arrogant person, but it's still knowing your worth and walking forward with confidence, and then utilizing your relationships, and then taking these steps in business as well.
Yeah. Last question. Oh, we have 3.
My question was about the genres. Like, every time I look for a DJ, I see like specific genres. Is there like, that's like a category that each DJ put theirself in? Because I pretty much listen to any and everything. So can I market myself to every genre? I don't want to be classified as just soul or R&B or rap or hip hop. I want to be everything. So how do I classify myself as everything?
The commercial term would be open format. That would be number 1.
Yep, and I'm sorry. Okay. I did want to piggyback on the whole, I guess, rate thing. So the number one question, how much should I charge when I'm starting off? Like, I don't really know, like.
So stressful, bro.
What is, I would say when starting off, as far as when it comes to charging and your pricing, like, how much would you pay yourself? But not only that, if you asking for $2,000 an hour, are you a $2,000 an hour DJ? So your price is your price, and stand on your price. However, how much would you pay yourself realistically? And that'll be your price.
Yeah.
These 3 people here, we're gonna take you. If you are not these 3 people, just wait, they might answer your question.
Hi, my name is Judith. My question is kind of like the Skywalker because we're of age. And I'm just starting out, and I'm trying to find the balance of I'm stuck in corporate, like Jazzy was saying, and stepping out as a beginner. Just trying to figure out that balance as far as time. I'm a mother also, but being able to get that balance to get my time into practice and also surround myself around people that can kind of help me with this journey.
So one of the things, so previous, I was in health and wellness, and one of my biggest concepts was that there really isn't a such thing as balance. Everybody is different. Every individual is different. For example, I don't really enjoy early mornings, and so I'm on fire in the afternoon, in the evening, or at night. And so for you, it's like, when could you find that time to practice? You might be at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's your freshest time of the day. Get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and practice, right? Or you might be kind of like me, where 1 a.m. you're just hitting your stride, right? Yeah. But taking a lot of the tools that Jazzy T talked about, making your plan, making your exit to get out of corporate and then get ready to go full-time if that's what you're ready to do. But it's really just allowing yourself to tell yourself that what you like and how you move is okay. And not like, oh, well, this person says that she only practices between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. I should do that. You do what's best for you. That's the balance, is what's best for you, right? So
You make time for what you want to make time for. Throughout that week, for what I used to do, well, I still do, on Sundays, I set my schedule for the week. Like, all right, I know, because my daughter, her schedule more popping than mine. So I gotta, first I'm hitting hers, okay, what she need, what she gotta do, okay, cool. On Tuesday I know she gonna be in school from 9 to 4. So from like 3 to 5, I got a little window. I can do a little 30-minute, download music, or a 30-minute little scratch session, whatever I need to practice. You have to practice. I still practice, because here's the thing, with the DJ equipment, with software, with Serato, it's an update every couple of months now. And they got some things, I don't know if you DJs, they did the vocals with the beat. You can drop the vocals, you can drop the beat, the stems is lit. I had to do a whole practice session with myself, like, okay, how to use this. Technology is updating every other day, so you gotta stay up on game. So you have to make time to practice, or to even just look at it. And like I said, it helps when you do it at the beginning of the week and you plan your week out and see, like, okay, I can get at least an hour or 2 hours on this day, maybe 30 minutes on this day. But you want to, if you just beginning, you want to practice every damn day. Like, even if it's just download music, you want to do something every day if you're trying to take this serious. Now, if this is just something for fun, sure, practice on your own pace. But if you really want to, like, you're considering, like, hey, I can really do this every single day, 30 minutes minimum. Okay.
And stay ahead of yourself. Organize those crates. Thank me later.
I wanted to make a point, just because of being of age, is that to allow yourself the grace, right? If you're a mom, you're working, you're wanting to start DJing, those dishes just may not get washed after dinner, because after dinner, they're in the bed, and then you're gonna go practice. It's allowing yourself that grace as well, because we're not gonna just be able to be perfect in every area of life, but mental health and making yourself happy. If you're happy to play music for 2 hours after they finish dinner, then let the dishes stay in the darn sink, right? Seriously, that's what when I first started, and they were still living, because remember, I'm an empty nester now. When they were still in the house, sometimes the dishes just had to stay, or the clothes didn't get washed, or whatever, because then I was feeding into my passion, which then made me a better mother and better in my businesses as well.
Hello, my name is Iris. I just started DJing at the beginning of this year. Thank you. Yay. I just wanted to know, what's your process like with creating like your sets, and what kind of homework do you have to do to stay up to date with new music, like when you're playing for like new generations? Because I'm like really an old soul, so it's really easy for me to like play older music, but when it comes to like newer music, I'm like, okay, like what are my friends listening to? Like,
Thank God for my younger sister, because she keeps me up to date on a lot of the new songs that be coming out. I'm not gonna lie, but I do listen to a lot of music when I'm taking a shower or I'm driving. I'll put on like the radio, or I'll put on Sirius XM. They have like the Heat and Sound 42. They have some really good songs, and sometimes TikTok. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pound Town. I don't know if you know that song. That's on TikTok. Don't look it up. It's a ratchet song, but apparently when I play it in the club, they love it. So my process is basically I pick up things from the shower, from driving, and then what I'll do is I'll download that song and I'll put it in a new music folder, or 2002 that month, or second half, or whatever creative folder name you want to make it. So you have all those new songs in that one spot. I like to do it by genre, so I'll be like hip hop 2022 to 2023, however you want to organize it. I'll do it like that, and then I like to do a little preset practice before I go and DJ anywhere I go. But then when I get to the venue, it's never the way I practice it. It's just reading the crowd. But it's always good to have those new songs on hand, so when you're ready to play it, you can drop those bombs.
Yep, for me, crates are everything. So I have a crate for every event. Like the day before the event, like last week I had a wedding. Weddings are kind of easy because they already, when it comes to like the first dance and they already have their pre-selected songs. Reception, that's you. But there's certain reception songs at a wedding you want to hear, right? Wobble, the line dances, the family music. So crates are your friends. Crates I use as references with certain songs. Now, I'm not too playlistly when I have a set, but again, my crates are my reference to help me, like guide me. Like, okay, it may not, even though this may not be a wobble crowd, they may want to hear Mississippi Slide. So me seeing wobble would make me think of line dance and be like, oh, okay, even though Mississippi Slide ain't in this crate, I'm going to play it because this is that type of crowd. They want to, I saw them wobbling it up, so Mississippi Slide going to kill them. So when it comes to that, and what was the first part of your question? I'm sorry. New music. So I'm a playlist queen. I love playlists. Playlists are the way to go. It got to the point where I had to download all 3 streaming sites: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. Download it. Pay for the subscription. It's a tax write-off. Come on now. So when it comes to that, with Apple Music, I listen to a lot with my friends. They have this little, if you have Apple Music, they have like what's your friends listen to. I get in there. Let me see what my friends listen to. But they also have curated playlists on Spotify. Rap Radar is a big one. Most Necessary. They have Billboard charts as a cheat code. Always go to the Billboard charts to see what's the top 100 songs. That's help you out a lot. So when it comes to like staying up to date on music, of course, even on Spotify and Apple Music, TikTok have their own playlist where they update each week. So you can kind of, you got to just stay in the know. And with staying in the know, you need to have where music come, you need to have it. When it comes to DJ record pools, I have a lot of DJ record pools that I use just because I want to know, okay, because here's the thing, the record labels own the radio station. So them 10 songs you hearing is from the record label. So when it comes to pushing music, the record company wants DJs to have it. So when it comes to these DJ record pools, some of the DJ record pools are some of the first sites to have these music. So you want to stay up on date. So when I know it's an intro, an outro, a clean, a dirty, a acapella, they pushing this song. They want people to hear this song. People like this song. Those are the ones you want to download. So when it comes to staying on updated music, when I listen to it, I'm a gym person. So I'm in a gym, I'm in a sauna, and I'm listening to it. But I'm also like leisure-wise, if I'm cleaning up, cooking. I learned how to cook, y'all, so I've been, So when I'm cooking all of that, I'm listening to new music. Also, shout out to my baby girl. She keep me up on game, too. So if you have younger people and, if you at those family settings and you listening, you seeing the kids do the, you watching it, you got to pay attention to that because you got to know, like, okay, this is different because it's different generation now. And, so you want to stay up on game all around, all ages. The old school going to be there. That's classic, timeless music. You got that in the bag. But when it comes to staying up on date, as a DJ, that's key. That's important. You want to play from age 2 to age 82. You want to be able to rock any crowd, all ages. And to do that, you got to stay updated on music.
What record pool do you pull your music from?
So the very first record pool that I pulled my music from was this Canadian website. It's called Sakana.com. They were the first, the CICANA. American dollars is worth a little bit more over there in Canada, so I was saving like $1. But it's like initially it's $20 a month, but once you transfer Canadian, it's like 1966 or something. But they were the first DJ record pool that I pulled from. Then I went to late night record pool, I believe. Then it had Digi Wax, MP3 Wax. I love and one of our sponsors is probably the biggest one now and the most easiest to navigate is BPM Supreme. They're the easiest to navigate. Shout out to BPM Supreme. So they and if you all happen to come to Scratch Out Loud to brush up on your DJ skills, we offer a a free subscription for BPM Supreme. So we can talk about that later. But other than that, it's several other ones though. It's so many DJ record pools, but you want to do the research on them first to make sure, because a lot of them don't have the new stuff. So sometimes, I did have a fortunate enough to meet a few record label reps with radio. They can send it to you. If you ever happen to stumble up on a record label rep as a DJ, if they in the club and they're like, hey, I represent Atlantic, Def Jam, okay, make sure y'all put me on y'all DJ email blast, and you'll get all the music straight from them. So.
Last question right there.
Well, it's not really a question, so I'm glad I'm last and all the questions were answered. But so it's all destined why I'm here. I'm around DJs, know a DJ. Didn't know you was doing it until I got a Facebook, invite. And so last year, I realized that this year would be 50 years of hip hop and me. So then I said, for my birthday, I'm gonna DJ. Right. So
We love that.
that was when I said it last year. My husband's a DJ. He's been DJing forever. And, I come from the music industry, so I've been around DJs all my life. I'm from Queensbridge, so DJ Hot Day was like one of the first DJs that, and then of course, Marley Marl and the list goes on from Queensbridge, that whole lifestyle. And then being in the industry, I was around DJs, record pools. I was the director of marketing promotions for Motown Records. And I've also worked with LaFace, but through their New York branch because I work with DJ Eddie F. So I was always around DJs all the time. Kid Capri, these are all of my close friends on the phone. But I supported it because they made me feel they told a story. And there wasn't a lot of female DJs back when I was promoting in, strip clubs. I'm everywhere. You gonna play my record. And so on Friday nights, there was Angie Martinez. She had Hot 97 Ladies Night. And who was DJing was Jazzy Jeff and Coco Chanel. These are my girls. And so every Friday night, I would go up there because, y'all gonna play my records. And they were the only ones that was on the scene. So, just congratulating, supporting, they did our festival, Gala Day Festival this past, 2 weekends ago, because we wanted to empower that energy of feminine, that feminine energy of DJing and telling a story and how we love music. We raise our children on music. And so I'm just saluting you and saluting the space that I'm here. They invited me and I said, you know what, I'm going, let me go. It's all destined, it's all in alignment. So I just appreciate this time. And look, I've been, in the industry in the 90s.
What's your DJ name?
I'm not there yet. I'm still fishing.
Love it. Give it up.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to you. That's dope. That's dope. Love to see it. Well, this is the end of our time, but that doesn't have to be an unfortunately. If you had some questions that were burning in your heart, you can still speak to our esteemed panelists here. You can also follow them. You can book them. It's so many things. It's so many options.
Right.
You can do that. Shout out to Scratch Out Loud. You can learn at the fingertips. Okay, thank y'all so much for coming. Shout out to Eric from Scratch Out Loud. Shout out to our DJs on the panel, Skywalker, Jazzy T, Goddess Kiko. Thank y'all for coming. We'll see y'all next time.